Hey, Dan Candell here, the Anxiety Relief Guy. I am just about from the time I'm shooting this, in about 40 minutes, I'm going to be doing an online anxiety relief now webinar for a bunch of business professionals and business owners and entrepreneurs. I think we're going to have anywhere between like 60 to 100 people. Over the weekend, I did one. We had like 500 people, which was amazing. So things are shifting. And I want to take this time to go over some conversations that I've been having with business owners and clients recently as well. You see, I have people reach out to me every single day. And one of the things that people have been asking me, which I want to make crystal clear to people say, are you seeing clients for free? You should be seeing clients for free. No, I'm not seeing clients for free. I'm still seeing clients, and I'm still charging what I normally would charge. I'm working with people a little bit differently now, so I'm working with more people online. But here's the thing: I've been seeing this string of people kind of attacking other people and saying, you should start doing your sessions for free, or you should start doing this for free, or you should start doing that for free, or you should coach people for free. Listen, I've even had people say, people who are charging during these times for their services are taking advantage of these times. I want to be crystal clear about this. People who are constantly asking for things for free, those are the people who are taking advantage of everything going on. When you go to the grocery store, you don't get your groceries for free, do you? No, you don't. We've all still got to live and survive. But here's the thing. We all are learning to live, to survive, and some of us to thrive differently during these times. Listen to that for a moment. We are all learning together how to live, how to survive, and some of us how to thrive during these times. Not because of them, but during these times. So I want to extend that to people because I've been asking my clients recently, how are you living? How are you surviving? And what do you plan to do to thrive throughout this time? So listen one more time. How are you living? How do you plan to survive? And what are some ways that you plan to thrive throughout this time? And one of the ways that people really thrive through this time is by practicing some sort of mindfulness and interrupting anxiety, stress, and worry. Because here's what's happening. People who have been anxious before, their anxiety is getting re-triggered, and it's getting re-triggered even deeper. And I've noticed that with a lot of my clients. And fortunately, people who have been my clients, they know how to interrupt that. And Lola asked me, she has a wonderful question. How do I plan to thrive? One of the ways that I am thriving is I'm doing more anxiety relief workshops online. In fact, I've done 7 in the past 2 weeks. I'm building my community. I'm building my community of my Make Success Happen inner circle. And the way that I am doing my part is I've actually given a huge discount into that community, and I'm offering more in that community as well. I'm doing things I didn't normally do. And this is an opportunity. Now, here's the thing. When people ask about thriving during these times, one of the things they have to get really good at in order to thrive is to interrupt those negative emotions and to really take that inner critic, that inner voice, and get it to work for them instead of against them. So here's a way for you to get your poop in a group. Number one, I want you to acknowledge that everybody is going through a major shift together. And number two, that as we're going through this shift together, everything that's happening is happening for a reason, but it's up to you to discover your reason for what's happening. It's up to you to discover the meaning for you as to why this is happening. A good friend of mine called me yesterday and said, I don't have a way to make an income. I said, no, you do have ways to make an income. You just need to think about this differently. You do have ways to make an income. And maybe throughout this time, it's going to teach people to be more budget friendly. It's going to teach people to make wiser investments. And it's going to teach people that they don't need 18 subscriptions to Hulu, Netflix, Amazon Prime, all those different things, but instead they should be investing in themselves. I've also had a client, several clients actually, that, and when I say clients, these are people who want to become my clients. Several of them reached out to me in the past several days and have said, my emotions are like way out of whack. And I just want you to know it makes perfect sense. It makes perfect sense that your emotions are out of whack, and here's why. Our routines have been thrown off. And as creatures of habit, we love routine. We crave routine. And when our routine is thrown off, even though it seems like I'm like sleeping in, I'm watching Tiger King, I'm watching Netflix series, I'm watching the news, because our routine is thrown off, it drains our emotional state, because now it's extra energy that's exerted that we have to put into now getting used to a new routine. And that can be excruciating sometimes for people. Here's another thing that I'm hearing a lot from people. I am feeling really, really angry, really angered by everything that's happening. And that also makes perfect sense. And here's why people are feeling angry. Because anger is easier than sadness and depression. Listen to that. Anger is easier than sadness and depression. Because if we feel sad, if we feel depressed, then it's basically our way of admitting that something is wrong. When we feel angry and frustrated, then we can take it out on other people. When we feel angry and frustrated, then we can take it out on other things. And Susan Gilliam says, good morning. Good morning, sunshine. And she says, this is so true what you're saying. We have less control right now. And that's another reason why people are feeling angry and afraid. Because, again, as humans, look at our instincts. We crave a sense of control. And now, the two most common things that cause us fear and insecurity and doubt are happening right now. Uncertainty/unknown and loss of control. Guess what? The most common things are that trigger fears in people. The unknown or uncertainty and loss of control. That's why people who are afraid of flying or people who are afraid of closing spaces, the claustrophobia, those people are afraid because they're afraid of losing control in those times of their feelings, emotions, and their situation. And Amanda, thank you. Amanda Ferguson says, good morning, Dan. Thank you for sharing this. It's okay to feel what we are feeling. 100%. Amanda is 100% correct. And by the way, this is a Facebook Live that I'm going to be turning into a version of my podcast, and it's also going to be on YouTube as well. So if you're listening to this any place other than Facebook and you hear me addressing people who aren't there, that's why. And because part of reinventing is also repurposing, right? So what I'm doing is I'm repurposing the content so that way I don't have to record the same message 52 times till Thursday. And today is Thursday, by the way, and I have to keep an eye on my watch because I'm doing an anxiety relief webinar in 29 minutes. So here's what I want you to glean from this. It's okay, as Amanda Ferguson said, it's okay to feel what you're feeling. It's okay to feel confused. It's okay to feel angry. And it's also okay to feel sad. And sometimes we have to be okay with feeling sad, because we're confused. Sometimes it's okay to feel insecure because these are very uncertain times. Yet, here's what you can do to really interrupt those feelings and emotions, because if you feel them for too long, they're not productive. And if you feel those feelings and sensations for too long, that's when you do get yourself into a longer rut, a longer funk, a longer slump. And we just want to tell that funk to literally funk off, right? We want it to get the funk away. We want to get out of that funk. So how do you pull yourself out of that funk? One of the ways that you pull yourself out of that funk is by creating meaning in your life. Now, for many of us, we now have to create a new meaning in our life. The second way to get out of that funk, that slump, or that rut is to surround yourself and involve yourself in a community. In a community, could be an online community, it could be a phone community. For crying out loud, it was just my partner's birthday yesterday and my birthday the day before. Yes, both of our names are Dan, and both of our birthdays are one day apart. I know. Funny. Haha. But here's the thing. Part of that is we still stayed in touch with our community, and he set up with about like 6 or 7 of my friends. He set up a Zoom virtual birthday party. Now, I had planned a huge surprise party for him because it was his 30th birthday. So I planned a huge surprise party for him, which obviously got canceled. It was actually supposed to be on April 4th, which got canceled, or we'll say postponed. But the thing is, we both understand that. We both understand whatever plans we made for one another, they're going to be put off. So to develop a level of understanding is also a key factor in this. So let's look at some things that we've investigated here. The number one reason why people are feeling so angered by this is because there's a lot of stuff going on right now where people's 2 biggest insecurities are being played out, and that is loss of control and uncertainty and unknown. So those 2 factors right there that trigger panic and fear innate within us, those 2 things are now being played out. The second thing is this is prompting people to feel angry instead of to feel sad, because anger is an easier emotion, and then we can take anger out on other people. So then it becomes less about what we're feeling and more about what's going on. And also, in order to pull ourselves out of that, because if we stay in that state of agitation, if we stay in that state of anger, we go into a rut, a slump, or a funk. And like I said, we need to get the funk out. We need to get the funk out of that slump, right? And in order to do that, we need to become aware of those emotions and start to interrupt them, start to disrupt them. As I said, some great ways to do this is to practice some sort of mindfulness, to involve yourself in a community. Dan Laurinaitis is joining, and the great thing about Dan Laurinaitis is he just sent me a video today on Facebook Messenger that was hysterical. And that's another thing that can interrupt that negative pattern, is just sending people things every day. Pick out 1 or 2 or 3 people a day that you connect with, and to stay connected. One of the ways that we can stay connected, like I said, is to be an active member of a community and to work with people who specialize in this type of thing. Reach out to me. I'm the anxiety relief guy. Many people are. Reach out to me, because what I'm offering now, instead of doing a very expensive 4-session program, I understand that people have different needs now. So what I'm doing instead is a 90-minute breakthrough session with people. That's a one-time thing if you want it to be a one-time thing. And it is a breakthrough anxiety relief session. Here's why. People who were already feeling anxious are feeling more anxious. People who didn't have anxiety are now feeling anxious. They're now feeling doubtful. They're now feeling worried, and they need a mindset reset. And there's now this overtone of anxiety and emotional upset that's going through society, again, because of that fear, because of that uncertainty, because of that sense of loss of control. Now, if you say, I really want a community, I do have a community that you can join, and you can go to anxietyreliefrevolution.com/secret, and you can join my community. which it's a level up community. This community is for people who really want to get their poop in a group, so to speak, who want to take control over their lives. It is a combination of mindfulness, motivation, it's a combination of mental strategies and techniques, coaching. These strategies are all proven effective strategies. But you have to admit that you are ready to take control. And in whichever way you're ready to take control, that's one way to interrupt that negative program. That's one way to get your poop in a group mentally, emotionally, psychologically, is by saying, I am ready to take control. And then ask yourself, what actions am I now going to take control of my feelings and emotions? Because I know the negative feelings and emotions are counterintuitive. They're not productive for me to feel right now. So with that said, if you need help, if you need guidance, if you would like a mental reset session, definitely reach out to me. Reach out and it's something we can put together, we can talk about. If you'd like to join a community, go to anxietyreliefrevolution.com/secret and you get lifetime access at the lower investment that I'm charging for this. Because I don't know how long we're going to keep this active for the I don't want to say cheap, but for as low as we're going now, I don't know how long we're going to keep this active for. So with that said, my friends, anxietyreliefrevolution.com/secret. That's if you want to join the community. If you'd like to reach out to me and work with me privately, work with me one-on-one over video, virtually, over either Zoom or FaceTime, dancandell.com. With that said, my friends, thank you so much for joining me. We have a lot of live, active listeners and participants today. Again, if you are listening or watching to this any other place besides Facebook Live, thank you so much for tuning in and joining. It's all about repurposing the content so that way we can reactivate the best version of ourselves. I'm hopping on an Anxiety Relief Now webinar that I am doing for a group of about between 50 and 100 business professionals. And that's another way that I'm reinventing myself as well, doing more anxiety relief workshops for different businesses and different business groups as well. If you'd like to schedule one of those, please feel free to let me know. It was a great pleasure bringing this content to you. As always, my friends, be well, do good, and be true to who you are, and most importantly, stay sexy. Talk to you all soon.